value signing in the league.
Has he not been great? And then Dyson Daniels, who I think might be the best defensive guard in the NBA, he makes the play there. We go to the third quarter here. Hawks are up 6, and then the Cavs just catch fire.
No, the third quarter was crazy. I was watching this game at home last night. I was like, wait, what was the score?
Right? And everyone was hitting. There's Mitchell. There's Harden. Next possession, Harden again. 3, good. They would outscore them 44-20 in the third. Yeah. Look at the shots.
Like, could not miss, throwing the ball in the ocean, Schrager.
It was unbelievable, but the Hawks would fight back, which you like to see. They made this one a game. Here you go, down 4 again. Alexander Walker, he has been outstanding of late. Then, here's Dyson Daniels. He waits, gets it. Kuminga dunks it, and who's got a 2-point game? All right, Alexander Walker to that's the game. That would end up being it. The Cavs would put it away. Donovan Mitchell says, good job. Good job. Look what we have here. Despite sitting in the 4 seed in the East, Cleveland has the second best odds to win the East at plus 360 according to DraftKings. Cavs now sit a half game back of the Knicks for that 3 seed with 2 games left to go in the regular season. Monica, they look awesome yesterday, and they gave it up the lead, but then they came back, and they find a way to put them away. Why aren't you buying Cleveland as the #1 contender to come out of the East?
I just don't think they've been that good. And I will also say this, like, that's not a number. To me, it's very rare to add superstar, add water, and it work right away. They've been solid with James Harden. Of course, he has his postseason demons that he's got to excise. But when I look at the rest of the Eastern Conference, it's less about them and more about how tight this thing is down the stretch. And I think there are teams that have opportunity to be more cohesive. You feel them on both sides of the basketball. And I think, to me, the odds are as much about their path, or are more about their path, I should say, than they are about the actual team.
So it's the 4 seed now. Let's talk about that path and the pole positioning. Are they playing a dangerous game right now? Like, looking at the standings, what do we do here?
Very dangerous, Peter Schrager. One thing you cannot do is tempt the basketball gods. Kenny Atkinson, the head coach, and a lot of their players have talked about, we want to stay at 4. 4 keeps you away from Boston. 4 sends you to Detroit. Now, I don't know about you, Monica McNutt.
Come on, talk to me.
But if you are a team that has questions about your toughness, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, talking to you. If you have questions about your toughness, the one thing I don't want to do is walk into Detroit, a team that makes itself a signature on toughness with Jalen Duren and Isaiah.
The Cleveland Cavaliers have a problem. And it is not a small problem. It is not a maybe we will figure it out in the playoffs problem. It is a they are literally trying to lose games to avoid the Boston Celtics problem. And the Get UP crew just said what every NBA fan is thinking. This is a huge mistake. Let me set the scene for you. The Cavs are currently the 4 seed in the Eastern Conference. They are a half game behind the Knicks for the 3 seed with 2 games left. And the word around the league is that Cleveland wants to stay at 4. Because 4 keeps you away from Boston. 4 sends you to Detroit. The Cavs would rather face the Pistons in the second round than the Celtics. And Peter Schrager said something that stopped me cold. He said one thing you cannot do is tempt the basketball gods. Kenny Atkinson, the head coach, and a lot of their players have talked about wanting to stay at 4. And Schrager said if you are a team that has questions about your toughness, Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, he is talking to you. If you have questions about your toughness, the one thing you do not want to do is walk into Detroit. A team that makes its signature on toughness with Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart. And then you say we want to play y'all because we do not want to play the Celtics. Do you think J.B. Bickerstaff is not telling his guys go look at them? If there is one team that the Pistons cannot be beat by from a mentality standpoint, it is Cleveland. Cleveland can out-talent them, but you cannot out-tough them. Think about that for a second. The Cavs are scared of the Celtics. So scared that they would rather face the #1 seed in the East, a team that just went 8-3 without their best player, a team that has the second best defense in the league, a team that just got back Cade Cunningham and Isaiah Stewart. They would rather face that team than face Boston. That is not a championship mentality. That is a we hope we get lucky mentality. And Monica McNutt added something even more important. She said the Hawks, the team the Cavs just barely beat last night, have perimeter defenders who can make life miserable for Donovan Mitchell and James Harden. And they have bigs who are willing to match up with the 2 towers that Cleveland has. So even getting out of the first round is not a guarantee. The Cavs could lose to Atlanta. And then all of this talk about wanting to face Detroit in the second round would be meaningless, because they would be sitting at home watching the Hawks play the Pistons. Vince Goodwill then listed the question marks that should terrify every Cavs fan. He said Allen and Mobley, "Are you tough enough?" Donovan Mitchell and James Harden, "We have seen their playoff movies. Donovan Mitchell has been a great player. Never made it to the conference finals. James Harden, when it gets to Game 6 and Game 7 of a playoff series, he has turtled up. It is fact. It is what it is. So now you have a team that is trying to lose games to avoid Boston. A team whose two best players have never gotten it done in the playoffs. A team whose two bigs are constantly questioned about their toughness. And they think facing Detroit is the answer? The Pistons are not the same team that lost to the Knicks in the first round last year. They have Isaiah Stewart back. He was out for that series. He is one of the most physical bigs in the league. They have Orza Thompson, who Vince said is going to be an all-NBA defense first-team guy. They have Jalen Duren, who is putting up 22 and 10 on 75% shooting. And they have Cade Cunningham back, a guy who can get you 40 in a playoff series. A guy who is pissed off about last year. A guy who just watched his team go 8-3 without him and realized he does not have to do everything himself anymore. The Cavs are playing a dangerous game. They are trying to manipulate the bracket. And history shows that teams who do that almost always regret it. You do not try to lose games in the NBA. You do not try to pick your opponent. You play to win. You build momentum. You build confidence. And you let the chips fall where they may. The Cavs are doing the opposite. They are trying to avoid Boston. But in doing so, they are walking into a buzzsaw. The Pistons are not the easy out that everyone thought they were a month ago. They have reclaimed their defensive identity. They have depth. They have confidence. And they have a chip on the shoulder the size of Lake Erie. So here is my question for you. Are the Cavs making a huge mistake by trying to avoid Boston and face Detroit? Or is facing the Pistons actually the smarter move? Drop your take in the comments. Do you agree with the Get UP crew? Or do you think Cleveland knows exactly what they are doing? And if you want more honest breakdowns of what is really happening in the NBA playoffs, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.